Right, it's a new system this year, no questions.
Just answers.
No. No tales to tell, no players to sell. So, anyway.
So, usual system.
36 years of this. God must have a punishment for me. It's unbeknown to other man. Anyway, Charity Shield. Everyone's fit apart from Wes and Vidić. Gary's doing a little bit of training. I don't think he'll make Sunday, but he's coming on fine. Edwin van der Sar, you know about. Unfortunately, it's a bad one for him. Put him out 8 to 10 weeks. And it gives me the first selection dilemma on who plays and go on Sunday. If you've watched your games, it's a strange thing that in the minutes that Ben's played and Tomasz has played, actually Tomasz is in more activity and is therefore more saves to make in games like Wednesday night, for instance. So it's a bit of a dilemma, and in fairness to them both, you know, I'll speak to them about that. But that's not an easy one. And of course, over the years we've treated Charity Shield as a sort of a barometer for the players' fitness. When we felt that certain players needed games, needed an extra game, we'd use the Charity Shield as the final game to get that fitness. In this situation, the way they've organised a pre-season, I'm not looking at it that way now. I think the players' fitness is very good. They've all had the appropriate minutes in the clock in the Bayern tournament and the Far East. So therefore all the players who are playing on Sunday will be at a good level, and therefore whoever I play should be able to give a good account of themselves. And of course I think that when they start playing against Chelsea, they want to win. The pride comes into it, and we'll try and do that.
What's the prognosis on Wes and Vidić? Will they be available next week for the big kick?
No, they're all long-term ones. You know that I would expect Wes to be fit for next Sunday's game. Vidić, I think another week. He just pulled a wee calf muscle in the warm-up in Munich, so I would think that 2 weeks.
With Edwin injured, are you tempted at all to bring in a more experienced keeper, or are you comfortable with the two you've got?
Absolutely not. No interest in anyone else. I'm perfectly happy with what I've got. Strange way I've got the young goalkeeper Ben Amos. He broke a finger also playing training with England youth team, so he's out of the question. But we've got Tom Heaton there as the backup to that.
Whoever you decide sort of gets the gloves to start off with, will they remain number one until Edwin comes back, or would you look to sort of keep them both on their toes?
Well, that depends on performance, doesn't it, really? But I'd be happy to keep the same goalkeeper and whoever started.
Have you been pleased with the preparations so far?
Yeah, I think it's the best pre-season so far in terms of going to the Far East, because it's never easy going there in terms of recovery, and we've all felt that you needed 2 weeks. But the way we did it, Mike Phelan did well with that, with the organisers and sponsorships, that we didn't spend too long in the one place, and possibly that not going to Indonesia was a blessing for us. And then the 4 days coming back in Munich gave us a time to recover. Also the training facilities were better, and the Bayern Munich training ground was fantastic. So it's worked very well for us, and I've no absolutely no qualms about how it's been done.
In terms of challenges in the Premier League, are Chelsea a biggest threat simply because they haven't lost any key players and they've consolidated and brought in clearly Carlo Ancelotti?
Well, I think that with Carlos going there, obviously I think you'll take up the baton that Gus Hiddink had carried since January, February, whatever, when he came, which was a good, really, they were galvanised at that time, I think. And I think that although Carlos Ancelotti has his own system of playing, which he used at perfect players, it's difficult to say this year. I mean, I think that ourselves, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal are looking at actually what's happening in Manchester City with great interest, whether this can work or not, and you know the money that's spent, and every week they're in the back pages now, you know. So I think there's a lot of interest in that from all of us, in the sense that none of us have really got into the market in a big way. In fact, we sold players. You know, Liverpool sold Alonso, we sold Ronaldo, Arsenal's sold Adebayor, and really it's been really quiet with the big team, the big four really, and it's down to Manchester City's spending that's kept you lads occupied and busy. So it'll be interesting. We're all interested to see how that's going to pan out.
Just wondering, because Chelsea kept hold of their key player in John Terry, City didn't get them, whether that makes them put a stronger threat, they've kept everyone together.
Well, I think obviously with John Terry, I'll keep him stronger, there's no doubt. I mean, his experience, he's been a captain, he's England's captain, he's a good centre half, and there's no question. I think that Chelsea, as we know, will be strong.
Do you think the status quo will remain, the top four being the top four again?
Well, it's difficult to break into the top four with the consistency and the quality that those top four have got. Don't forget that over the last few years, those four teams have competed for semi-finals of the European Cup and finals. You know, so it's a great consistency, that, you know, and great level of performance. I think everyone recognises in Europe that the English league, in that period, although they're talking about Real Madrid and Barcelona start to dominate again, which I have my doubts in that. But I think that those four are still very, very strong teams.
Pre-season's about integration as well as preparation. Looks as though Michael and Valencia have integrated properly, but based on the performances we've seen over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we're pleased. I mean, on Wednesday, Michael Owen could have scored 4 or 5 goals. His movement in the last third of the field on 2 occasions, particularly the 2 chances he got in the first half and the second half, were absolutely brilliant. It was a typical Michael Owen movement. On the last defender, timing to go penetrate behind, and he's unlucky not to score for us. So what we've seen on Wednesday is exactly what we know about Michael. Whereas with Antonio, that we bought a potential from Wigan. We're negotiating that for a while, and sort of a protection if Ronaldo were to go, which he did, and so we completed the deal. And he's a different type of player from Cristiano, of course, but he's got courage, he's strong, and he penetrates very well. It's a good cross of the ball. So we're pleased with that. We're pleased with the start he's made.